Ben looking like a sexy beast. Welcome to the Dog Daze podcast, where we listen to Gedu, Ben, and Shane talk about things that interest our audience and myself.
Thankfully, Brendan's back for this episode, so hopefully it doesn't get as dark and depressing as last week's.
I don't know.
I remember what we talked about last week.
My first
we got
topic was
existential
Yugoslavia.
very quickly.
Existential chapstick.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would. Existential chapstick would be a very great product. You know,
I think we could if we could get some ayahuasca in there. I think that's the move. I've ruminated on that.
I saw. Look, yo, it's a huge coincidence that you just mentioned ayahuasca. I found out yesterday that there is ayahuasca for sale on the internet here in Brazil. Ooh. And like a liter is like very cheap. It's like $50, I think, or something. And a liter of ayahuasca is probably like enough for fucking a lot of people. But then I told my friends about it.
That's like a traditional thing in Brazil, right?
Yeah, for one specific religion, but it's selling on the internet, so it's definitely broadened its scope. But yeah, and then I told my friends, and my friends were like, "Bro, like we do shrooms and acid and shit, but we're not fucking with ayahuasca."
Ayahuasca is a whole nother level. Gedu, have you listened to the last podcast episode on ayahuasca and true crime angle on that?
No, I'm a download it right now. Though.
It's one of the more recent ones I recommend. But what's crazy about ayahuasca is like it doesn't mess around. Like after you consume it, however, normally you start off by puking and shitting, like a lot, and it's kind of like it hits your body hard, and then you start like really kind of having some just completely heavy effects. And they told this story about this like kind of about how like tourists will often like go to certain areas that have ayahuasca. It's like a lot of like foreigners will go in and like go to like these like seminars where someone guides you through it. And if you go to like the really expensive ones that are a little more professional, like they'll be a little better maintained and like people know what they're doing. But occasionally you can go to like these like people who are like a lot more sketchy, and that's sometimes as a result bad things happen or who knows what. But it's fascinating, the whole industry around it and how intense of a drug it is.
If you check out the link that I just dropped, my dad's cousin has a TED Talks where he talks about how like he did ayahuasca in Peru and it like cured him of alcoholism.
It's big, yeah. Peru was actually where that podcast episode was really talking about. It's huge in Peru as well.
It's crazy.
Robert Radigan, bro.
Bro, it's straight up, bro. This guy's at every Christmas party. We're homies. He lives in New Mexico. He's really cool.
How does one find a TEDx and tell them that they have a great story that they want to tell? How does that happen?
I think this was so it was a TED Talks that was being done at the university where he does research. And what's really interesting is that because of the war on drugs and whatnot, there is a lot of research that we can't do on psychedelics in America. Research on like weed that we can't do. Basically, like most drugs, we really can't research because of like, I don't know, like why, but basically there's like legal parameters that don't allow you to research psychedelics. But for whatever reason, New Mexico is a state where you can research this kind of stuff. And so that's what he focuses on at like University of New Mexico or something like that. And so the school was doing a TED event, and I think he just was able to share the story. It's pretty crazy though. The thing that like sticks out to me was that he said that he was on ayahuasca and he could see all the facets of his psyche like floating in front of him, like pieces and like orbs. And then as he came down, like all those orbs started to like return into his body, except the one for alcoholism just like couldn't fit quite right anymore, and it was just left over. And he said it was left over like the extra screw that you have after setting up an IKEA piece. And it just, at that point forward, he just felt no need for alcohol in his life.
That's dope. Like, that's definitely all inside of him already. Like, in some realm of his subconscious, he knew that he didn't want to be an alcoholic. So then, like, those things that we see while we're tripping are just manifestations of things that are in our heads, I think. I'm no, like, brain scientist, but I think that's probably true. But it's still very interesting how we need that push. Like, I don't know. It's very. I'm reading the Psychedelic Experience right now by Timothy Leary.
Chalamet.
I thought you were gonna say Chalamet. I was like, bro, you couldn't be any more of a heartthrob.
And they make it sound so like, because like when we think of tripping, like our fraternity friends did at the desert a lot and shit, we think of something that's like funny and like casual and shit, but they treat it like a fucking religious experience in the book. It's fucking scary. Like, the things that I've been hearing about ayahuasca for the last 2 days have been making me feel like shit. Like, it opens the gate to a new world, basically. But it's a world inside of you. It's weird.
It's interesting because I'm pretty sure like the main drug that's in ayahuasca or like peyote or whatever is DMT, which is like the like chemical that gets released in your brain when you die. That's like the only time that you ever get to like experience that is like right before you're about to die.
Oh shit, I didn't know that. I knew about DMT, but I didn't know DMT was only released in your body when you're about to die.
It's straight up like you just have like, I don't know, just some storage of DMT in your brain that just stays there your whole life. And right before you die, it just all gets released at once.
That's why one of the reasons why basically the book that's treated as a manual for tripping is called the Tibetan Book of the Dead. Because it's a book for, like, they call it a book for the dying, but the title is a book for the dead. And they treat tripping as if, like, you're approaching death in a way you've never been able to outside of tripping. So that's basically, yeah, these people that talk about tripping kind of refer to it as a death experience. So interesting.
That's fascinating.
You could play a drinking game
also,
on this podcast episode. Anytime someone says the word tripping, take a sip. For at least a 10.
For the rest of the episode. Especially if you're in Hong Kong.
Brendan, your hair is so long that you kind of look like a young Val Kilmer.
Oh my god, bro. Don't compliment me like that. We'll go straight to my head.
Click the link I just sent you. It looks exactly like you, kind of.
Is it him with a suit on?
Yeah.
Dude, I'll appreciate that. Now I just need to get
Oh shit. I just found a picture that looks exactly like you. You've been Ewan McGregor, now you're Val Kilmer.
Bro, what about Keanu Reeves in this picture there? That's amazing.
Guys, I just I'm watching the 2020 season of Cosmos right now, and Neil deGrasse Tyson talks about a bunch of people that like somehow advanced the world forward. And then it got me thinking, if we were to draw a diagram with like the history of the world and like the people who advanced our society the farthest, like for instance, if it wasn't for like Einstein, probably we would have found out about relativity like in the mid 2000s or in the mid 1900s, not in the early 1900s, or maybe like we even have found out about it like now, very recently or something.
Are you
If
asking,
it
like,
wasn't for
who?
Isaac Newton, what's up?
Are you asking like who those influential people would be?
Yeah, yeah. So like, if it wasn't for Darwin, probably advanced our society like hundreds of years too. So then, who do you think, if we were to draw a diagram of like people who advanced society the farthest, who would it be? Top 5
Top 5?
from the West.
I have one person in mind. I could come up with one more, but I personally think that, I mean, this person alone like isn't the one who advanced society a ton, but I think this person knocked over the first domino that basically has set humanity on a course of being like very, very scientifically engaged. I'm pretty sure it's Sir Francis Bacon was like the guy who came around and said, like, we need a scientific method where you make a conjecture and then you prove your conjecture with evidence, and only then is your like theory proven true. And then you like continuously need to like run experiments in order to like prove that theory true. And if anyone proves your theory false, then it's just like not right. You need to like deny the hypothesis. And yeah, I feel like alone, like it's not like Sir Francis Bacon like discovered gravity or something, but by telling everyone like how to do science, like he in a way like almost created science. Like he started the scientific revolution.
It's a great answer.
Plus, he eventually gave us Kevin Bacon.
That was second place.
Kevin Bacon,
I think
one of those influential mans.
just Bacon. Bacon advanced society a lot. Before Bacon, if you wanted to eat pork, like you'd have to get a handful at a time. But then Bacon came with the strips. It's a whole new way to eat pork.
Then Bacon came out. Yeah, it was released. They dropped Bacon.
All right, question: Would Jesus be in your top 5?
And what's the original question
Fuck.
again?
People that advanced society the farthest.
I thought it was like had the most influence on the world.
Those are two very different questions. So
No,
let's
yeah,
specify.
those are very different questions. No, what I was thinking about was people who advanced society the farthest. Because then, if it was people who influenced the world the most, Hitler would be in the top 5.
True.
But I'm talking about like,
Like did positive things for society.
Gotcha. I'm gonna say.
yeah,
I have a choice for this one. I'm gonna say Alexander Fleming.
Oh,
okay.
So Alexander Fleming, as a review, he discovered penicillin, and as a result, pretty much discovered antibiotics. Like that dude's discovery. I mean, I don't even know how you can calculate how many thousands, millions of people his discovery has saved, and it spawned a whole pharmaceutical industry and so many advances of medicine that we get to enjoy in our daily lives, all come from this one guy.
Well, in that same vein, you
to...
could also mention Louis Pasteur, whatever.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
Who actually, I'm pretty sure, was the one who like discovered microbes, right?
Yeah.
And like
was Fleming
like why we know we get sick now.
The idea of germ theory is so fucking crazy that like for a period of time people were like, yo, what if there's shit that's just like so small that we can't see it, but it's like living? And then like eventually they like built a lens, microscope, whatever, enough to like look at really tiny things. And they're like, what the fuck? There's just like invisible microorganisms everywhere, like all over everything. Like imagine like being the first person to be like, yo, like everything that you touch, like including like all over your body, there's just like tiny little organisms that are like constantly there.
Nice to think about.
Yo, is Fleming one of the dudes that purposely broke his patents so like they like his penicillin would be free for a period of time so that people could get it? You know
Oh,
who,
you're thinking of Salk, Jonas Salk.
Salk. I know Salk did it, but I don't know if Fleming also did it. You guys don't know what I'm talking about?
I know. I know with Salk, it was like it's crazy because he found the vaccine to polio virus, and like they're like, oh, like if you patented this, like you'd be the richest man in the world. Like, how come there's no patent for polio? And this is what he said. He's like, well, I don't think the vaccine belongs to me. It belongs to humanity. Like, could you patent the sun? And that's what he posited. Like, could you patent the sun? Like, I don't think so. So I don't really.
Has anyone tried? Wants to I'm gonna check.
Bro, you can buy the sun as an NFT though.
Lovely. No,
I really don't understand NFTs, and I don't want to.
it feels
Shit's
very
wild.
subjective. The value of whatever they are. It's interesting. I'm curious if it's gonna be a fad or more of a permanent, actual like item in our day-to-day lives. It's very unclear. I'm not about to pay millions of dollars for a tweet.
That's
so.
the thing that the only way that NFTs would affect my life is if I were to sell them, because I'm not buying NFTs. I'll tell you that much. I'd be down to sell an NFT, but bro, Vicardian or whatever that guy's name was sold his piece or like bought that. He's the guy who bought Beeple's artwork for $69 million.
Some people are rich enough to where they have money they can just throw at gimmicky stuff for the fun of it.
He said it's going to be worth over $1 billion one day, because he basically says that like we are in a transition of medium in the art world, and like it is so significant to the history of art that the first ever, big time NFT artwork, like the first ever really piece of art within this medium to ever be sold is going to be worth so much one day. It's just going to be unbelievably.
I don't,
valuable.
but like can you put it so the value that art has that like a good painting has is you hang it on the wall and then people pay to see it in a museum, or like if it's really old then you just have it in your home, and it's so old that people don't have to like go to a museum to see it, because if you die today, like that's gonna still be worth a lot, and then your kids can sell it for a profit, and then their kids can sell it for a profit. But like you're not gonna put NFTs on a wall, I don't think.
It might be on
Like
a digital wall.
you're,
I think the
like
value
that's not
in
gonna have
art
any value. I
comes
don't
more
think.
than just like the viewing of the art. Like it also has to do with the art story and the art's history and who the artist was and who the curator was and what that art piece really means. Because like you could take the Mona Lisa and print out a copy of it at home and put that on your wall, and it really won't be that much different, honestly. Like the Mona Lisa isn't even that big of a painting, but it's like the actual like Mona Lisa, if you just think about that piece of art in general,
Yeah.
like that has a lot of meaning to it. Even if you're not going and looking at it, in the Louvre, like you could just think about the Mona Lisa. Like it's a very important art piece.
Yeah, I just don't think NFTs are, because like art kind of, you have to feel it, you have to like look at it. The brushes have a kind of depth that looking at it on your phone won't kind of reproduce properly. I don't know if NFTs are such a good idea for art. I don't know if NFTs are a good idea at all, to be honest. I'm down with blockchain, like definitely, but NFTs are they just seem like a bad idea for people who are investing a lot of money in them.
Yeah, it depends. Like For instance, like NFTs, their average value has like plummeted since February. But you think about like a specific piece of art, like if you think about this people painting graphic art that was bought for 69 million, like imagine we do live in a world in the future where NFTs are a really, really big deal. But that piece will definitely be worth way, way more.
Imagine we live in a society, bro.
I can't even imagine. Like, imagine if we really did live in a society.
Bro, Brandon, do you have any cool stories about Arizona?
Oh my gosh, bro. Maricopa County, shout out. Phoenix, Arizona.
Why did
Bro,
you go?
it's I think every time I leave the state of California, I'm like more and more convinced that California is truly like its own country that just exists as like an enclave within the United States. Like it really is just so insane. Like every other, like even Arizona, which is not that far away from California, it's like being on a different planet. Okay, maybe not that, but like I mean a little bit because there's a lot of desert. But it was a really good time. I was in Scottsdale, Arizona, which is part of Phoenix, or like right around that area.
Bro, how does it feel being out and doing stuff? I haven't known that for a year and a month.
You know, I felt really a lot more comfortable since I was vaccinated to be there. But what I will say is it's very interesting. Arizona does not have the same restrictions that like California has. So like there is no mask mandate. It's just like up to the businesses whether or not they
Not
want to
very
do it.
surprising.
Yeah, exactly. I will be honest, like I'm very surprised that that was like a blue county in 2020. Like I after being there, like I'm like, wow, like this place is blue. Like what does a red county actually even look like, honestly? Because like literally everyone there was just like, I don't know, very, very, very interesting. But
A red county in Arizona is probably like Tatooine.
Honestly, there is a bit of lawlessness out there. It kind of reminded me of Palm Springs a little bit, not gonna lie, because it's like really in the middle of the desert. The people like spend their time like in the pool, stuff like that. Lots of art galleries. Not really on the NFT train though.
Shit, I wish I could be
it was
there
hot
doing
too.
stuff. Right, UC San Diego is sending me emails saying that they want to vaccinate me, and I'm like, fuck, please do, but like, I can't really do anything about that.
When do you think you'll be vaccinated in Brazil?
I think if the trend of vaccination keeps following the same like slope, probably like the end of this year, like October, November, I think.
Okay.
But it's completely unpredictable. Like there could like we could buy double the amount of vaccines that we've produced till April. We could buy double that like next month if we wanted to, or people could like send us shit that they didn't use from other countries, and then that could make the slope go completely like off route, or maybe the economy could completely crash and then we wouldn't have money to buy vaccines. So it's completely unpredictable. Right now I think people like 69 and over are being vaccinated still.
Nice.
Yeah.
Which vaccine are they giving out? Is it like AstraZeneca or something?
My grandma got Oxford. But that like Oxford is really rare. The only other one is I think is a Chinese one.
Sanify?
but it's also no coronavac is what it's called,
Oh,
but
interesting.
it's also produced here. Like they basically, I think probably they shared the recipe of how to make it, and we're making it here. But like we're missing a lot of shit. We're missing even like the little syringes and the tubes and shit because it's too much. And our president is a fucking psychopath. But anyway, let's not get existentialistic here.
You know that there's a variant out of Brazil, the P1 variant.
Yeah, I've been hearing about it a lot.
That one is very interesting because it exhibits a lot of these same qualities as the variant out of South Africa, which is more antibody resistant.
Does the company you and Shane work for has anything to do with the vaccine at all?
No, they didn't make one.
No, they don't have a vaccine that they made, but they definitely like played a role in testing. They played a role in distribution.
Yeah,
but
that's
they
what
don't necessarily
was
have like
thinking.
a flagship vaccine that they made, which is kind of funny because I feel like this would have been right up their alley. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, I guess it
Yeah.
depends. What if they probably saw all the other companies doing it, and they're like, maybe not.
The thing is, there's actually, I mean, if you think about it from a business perspective, like the only reason why these companies would make vaccines is to try and like make money theoretically. And there actually isn't that much money involved in infectious diseases and vaccines as people think. For like pretty much up until coronavirus, the industry of vaccines for infectious diseases was considered basically like a lost industry. Like you would only make a vaccine in order to maybe get like name brand recognition or just maybe like good mojo, but really it was never for profiting ever before the coronavirus. Now is like one of the first times that we're actually watching like businesses develop vaccines just so that they can like make profits.
Interesting. Okay, since we're a little quiet today, I'm gonna I had another idea while I was watching something. I can't remember what it was, which is imagine if so this is a reality TV show idea. Imagine if like you guys know Big Brother, right? Is there a Big Brother happening at you in the US right now still, or is that just dead?
I have no idea.
I think it's still going strong.
Yeah, they may not be doing a season right now, but it was happening. They did one like during coronavirus, which is kind of like funny.
Yeah, Big Brother is like the biggest fucking thing, and it's happened every year in Brazil since 2000. So we're in the 21st edition of that shit, and it's completely trash. But I had the idea of what if. So Ben, since you don't know the show, that's a good excuse for me to do some exposition here. In Big Brother, they just throw, I think, 20 or 30 people in a house. It's basically mentioned there's everything you'd need to like survive. And then they throw you there, and then within like 3 months, they keep fuck. Okay, so they have this thing called like eliminations, which happen every week, and basically, I think I'm not really good at telling how it works because I don't watch it, but I think it happens like 3 people go on the elimination rounds and one of them is eliminated. One of the 3 is voted by the group in the house to go to the elimination rounds. The other person, I think people, no, shit. Oh, the other one, I think the leader of the house, because every week there's a new leader of the house, which is the person who wins like some kind of challenge. So the leader sends that other one, the second one, to the elimination rounds. And the third one, I think there's another challenge that happens throughout the week where the loser is like directly sent to the elimination round. So then there's three. And then one of those three is voted out by the people watching every week. So then week by week, one person leaves the house, and then by the end of 3 months, you have a winner, and the winner wins like $1 million reais, which is nothing in dollars, but whatever. And then, yeah, so then there's people watch that shit every day. It's live every day. And you can even pay for the pay-per-view, which is even more expensive, and it lets you watch like every single thing that happens every day. And I thought, what if they did that with Big Brother, but in the moment they set foot in the house, you do the Men in Black thing where you erase their memory of getting to the house, and they think that is just like where they live. How good of a social experiment would that be? Like the world would be watching them, and they would have no idea the world was watching them. It'd be
Right, it's like
basically like Truman Show.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. It's basically like Truman Show.
Well, I would watch the shit out of that. It'd be torture and it'd be inhumane, but fuck, that would be an amazing reality show.
Bro, it would be like there's some really cool social experiments that I don't know like how they'd be pulled off. But have you heard of oh fuck, I don't
The
know what it's
Stanford
called.
prison experiment.
No, no.
Oh, yeah,
I
please.
like that one.
I gotta look up the name.
The
But
Russian
basically-
sleep experiment.
No.
Okay, that one.
This is real. Okay, so this is like a real social experiment that happened. I'm trying to. Okay, yeah, the social dilemma is what it's called. Basically, the premise behind it is like it's like this gala. It's like a ball. But every single person in it is an actor who's in on it, except like this one woman who is invited to it, and it's a social experiment on her. So like it's being filmed. Everybody's like a constituent, or no, what's the word? Confederate, which is like a person helping with an experiment, like an actor in an experiment, basically. And the whole conceit of it is to see if they can try to like push this woman to commit murder, like during that night. Yeah. And it's fucking crazy. Like I don't want to spoil it. I don't want to like say what happens, but like it's easier than you would expect to push someone to convince them to commit murder. Just a random person, like any random person off the street.
Is there a movie about that or a documentary or something?
It's on Netflix. Yeah, it's a documentary.
Oh wait, The Social Dilemma, like that one about social networks.
Okay, maybe that's not it. Okay, never mind.
It scares me how excited you were about the idea of that. Like, it's so easy to get someone to commit murder, and you like with like a glint in your eye. I don't know, Ben.
Bro, it's like actually a thing. I cannot remember what the fuck it's called.
I'll come back to you.
Yeah. Y'all continue the conversation. I'm gonna track this shit down.
No worries. Reminds me of, I don't know if it was an
Right,
Eric Andre bit or something, but there was like a kind of a similar situation where like it was at some sort of like public event, and this like, and whoever was hosting the show like convinces some random dude that like, oh, like we have to like take out this other like rival group, like we have to take out like the leftist communist or something, and then like he ends up convincing this random dude to like put a package down that the dude thinks is a bomb like down on the street and like press the button to blow it up. It's so very similar situation, like where this random dude is like convinced to do something horrible just because this guy like convinces like convinces him to do it. It's really trippy, but I don't remember what that one was either. Might have been
Did you
Eric
guys
Andre.
see the new Eric Andre, Tiffany Haddish movie
Mhm.
that's on Netflix? I liked
No.
it.
It was alright. It was a little corny, I thought.
I thought the format was really smart. Like I've never seen any movie have like a narrative and have a lot of pranks at the same time.
That was
And
interesting.
both things mix so well together. It's
Okay,
kind of corny at some points.
I found it. It's called The Push.
Yeah,
Where
yeah,
is it
yeah.
on?
I think it's on Netflix, isn't it?
Yeah, it's on Netflix. Yeah.
Shit, that's a good social experiment. The push.
But
There's a
there's this other mentalist, I don't want to call it documentary. It's on Hulu. I'm bad at remembering what the fuck things are called tonight. But it was like this, it was a live show in New York, and this guy's like a mentalist. And he does like magic and like storytelling. It's called In and of Itself. I would definitely also recommend that. I think I actually said something about that in our group chat at some point. It was really fucking dope.
Oh, you okay? Yeah, you sent it in the movie group chat that we have on Facebook. Watch In and of Itself. Don't see anything beforehand.
Yeah, it's sick. It's like crazy. It's just like, I don't know, mentalism stuff, and like magic. I mean, it's a similar thing, but like it's really interesting. Like these people are like very smart and kind of scary. How they can like, I don't know, figure things out, like how people's brains work, and like always be right about it. It's like extreme psychology to the point where it seems like unreal.
there is a TV show called Solitary. Have you guys ever heard of that?
No.
Okay, prepare to have your minds fucking blown. This show shouldn't even be legal. There are only 4 seasons of it. And pretty much the premise of the show is a group of contestants, so like about like 9 people, get taken and they get put into a pod, an octagonal pod that is like completely cut off from society. Like they can't talk to anyone outside the game. They can't talk to any of the other contestants. There's no clocks, so they have absolutely like no idea how much time is going on. And the like host of the show is this like AI voice. So the whole time they're only talking really to this like robot who only refers to the contestants as numbers. And pretty much like the last person left in the game, because you can leave at any time, the last person left in the game wins like the cash prize of like $50,000. And throughout the entire time, they're subjected to like pretty much like torture. Like pretty much like they will be in this pod and they'll do like competitions, but their competitions will be like, we're gonna make like loud fucking noises, like jackhammers in your pod. And if you're like the last person to like basically opt out of it, basically if you're like, fuck this, I can't do it anymore, and you like press a button, if you're like the first person to do that, you get like a punishment, and if you're the last person to do that, you get like a reward. They had these people lay down on a bed of nails for like trying to do it like as long as possible without knowing how long all the other contestants did it, and like they're just basically stuck in solitary confinement for like the entire length of the show.
This is only for $50,000.
And it's only for $50,000.
Oh boy, yeah, not worth it at all.
How like what's like the rough timeline of like how long someone like the winner of a season lasted? Like
That's
is it
what I'm
like
curious
weeks,
about.
months?
Let me see. It was so I'm trying to find anywhere that it says how long they were in the pod for. It's not showing because I'd be so curious. Like, were you in it for a week, a month? Like, these people were pretty intense. Like, it's saying that like these players were vomiting. They were like, yeah, pretty much every episode someone vomits.
Bro, what the fuck? Sounds like Fear Factor with your boy Daddy Joe Rogan.
It doesn't sound. I don't know. That's one of those shows where I couldn't ever picture myself pushing myself to that limit just to get like a financial reward.
Like,
I mean, that's too much for me. I like comfort. I don't. I'm very happy with not subjecting myself through that. Like, I can't imagine, like, even if you do win, I can't imagine that person is doing that great after the fact unless they're really strong-willed. Like, I can imagine there's some like potential mental health effects after the fact, after going through that. And how long did you say that show goes for? Is it like a week or is it like a month?
So it goes on for I think I know a little bit better. It goes on for as long as people stay in it.
Oh man.
And basically, like throughout the like season, they do challenges, and if you win a challenge, you're exempt from something called the treatment. And if you lose, if you're the first person to quit, you're like exempt. You like get forced into like an even more solitary space or something.
What?
I wonder where is the line in terms of like legality of like game shows and stuff. Like, I'm very curious.
If they sign like a consent form or like a waiver or whatever, they can do whatever they want.
Yeah.
There's a similar what's it called? Thing. I don't know. It's not like it's a completely different thing, but I don't know if you have heard of this. There's like this haunted house that this guy hosts at his house, where basically like it's just like he tortures people. Like people like sign up to like participate, and he fucking like kidnaps them, like tortures them, waterboards them. Like it's like full contact. Like, and he has like people that help him, and that they'll like cut you, and like it's something that'll permanently damage you, but like he will injure you and like hurt you. It's like the most extreme haunted house, and people like know this going in. He has them sign a waiver, and he can do whatever he wants.
So could he just like stab someone and to get away with it? Like, does that give him like where's that line? You know, because like, I could see this getting dark.
I don't know what's specified in the waiver, but like I think like one of the like the only like border, like the only line he can't cross is like he can't permanently like maim someone or like kill them, or I would say like severely injure them. Like stabbing someone probably I would assume would be a no-go. It's like cutting them with like razors, or like I can't think of like maybe like stapling them or something like that. Like crazy shit, yeah, but like nothing that's gonna be like a permanent injury or whatever. It's fucking nuts.
That's fucking insane.
And people sign up for this. Like people want that.
Is there a safe word?
I don't know. I remember like seeing something about it. I'm not like, it's been a while and I didn't really read too much into it, but it's just fucking crazy.
Imagine he's just torturing you. He's like, say the fucking word. He's got like a piece of paper up to your eyeball.
I'd rather not imagine that.
McCamey Manor.
Macanini.
Oh man.
Wait, what class did he teach?
That was the algorithm one.
Algorithm.
Like I think it was 107.
Yeah.
The MATLAB one.
Yeah, that was the crazy MATLAB one.
The one didn't Christian like do like an internship for him?
Yeah, he was one of the people holding them down in the haunted house.
Oh, bro, it's in San Diego.
Oh wait, what neighborhood?
Wait. Oh, it was founded in San Diego. Now he moved to Tennessee. I don't understand.
Interesting.
Oh, there's more than one location.
Oh, I'm glad they're franchising. Just what we need. More of these.
Okay, so I'm looking at the Wikipedia. Originally, he did not allow safe words, but now guests have the option to use a safe word.
Probably for the best. Because again, people might not realize.
There's a waiting list of over 24,000 people.
What?
Also, there's different like performances and like things that he does, and one of them there is a 10-hour experience, and if you complete it successfully, you get $20,000.
So that's exactly the game show.
Yeah. Bro, what the fuck?
That is, wow.
I mean, that's our sign.
That is
Yeah,
insanity.
They are subjected to physical assault, so like getting punched and kicked. They can hit them with vibrating toys, which I think are like, you know, like those like fake shock pens.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like that, like shocking, but not actually. They like make them eat and drink like nasty shit, like waterboard them, they bind them and gag them. It's like just physical. It's like they get tortured pretty much. It's fucking.
Gotcha.
And then people, there's a waiting list of 24,000 people to do this. What the fuck?
Wild, man.
Can't believe it. All right, sounds like Zach's there. Oh my god.
Ben, it is up to us two to close this thing out.
Sorry,
Yeah, there's audio poison going on. All
A
right.
little bit. That's okay.
Let me wrap
This
this
was a great episode, guys. Glad you hung around to the end of this. And yeah, have a lovely rest of your day. I was Shane. Be careful with ayahuasca. If we've learned anything today, just be careful.
I've been Ben, and don't sign up to get tortured. I don't think that's a good idea.
No.
Brendan, you're
Brendan was on mute.
I straight up thought you were behind me, Zach. Like I saw you on Shane's camera, and I thought you were behind me.
It's like a horror movie. Maybe he might be right now. You have no idea. You have to turn around slowly.
I've been Brendan, and yeah, don't sign up for voluntary torture unless you get paid $50,000 at the end of it.
fair. Oh wait, tell Zach to do a sign off.
Yeah, Zach, do a sign off for us, bud.
What's your sign off?
Oh,
Say
I'm
your
Zach,
name and something
happy to be
random.
here.
So what you do is say your name and then just say something really random. Or whatever you feel like telling people.
I'm Zach, and I'm just happy to be here.
You love to see it. Good night, ladies and gentlemen,
Fair enough.
and Hong Kong.
Bye.